G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in over on the east side of the map, we've got Insog 8106, who we're just going to be calling Sock. Because I think that's probably going to work a little bit better than his full name. Because INGSOC 8106, I mean, it sounds like a password, but I mean, he's missing a capital letter in there, so probably not going to make his way through. But double scout opening going to be going down for this player. Now, keep in mind, he is a top 300 player. This guy, highly competent. Actually, just going to be the double scout. Not going to bother the second one. But that's all right. Let's talk about who is on the opposite side of the map, because we've got Eerie, who is looking to play the French here today, fellas. And I'm looking forward to this game. There's a couple reasons why. Reason number one, this is a great matchup. I love the French versus the Holy Roman Empire. I think it's a big skill matchup here. I think the French have got quite a bit of an advantage in the early stages of the game, but that begins to fade away as the game continues moving forward, and especially once you get to the late game, the French are going to fall off compared to their Holy Roman Empire opponents. But then at the very end of the game, so yeah, there's a little bit of like swings and curves that happen. But I definitely feel like the French are one of those civilizations that have got a couple windows in there, but the Holy Roman Empire also. So I'm going to have my money on the Holy Roman Empire. We're going to see how these players do, despite Eerie being a top 100 player. Very, very good player, this guy. So watch out for him if you're on the ladder. You come up against this guy. Probably just want to CC already. But what we can also talk about, N4C, 3 letters, numbers, words, all those good stuff. Three digits that we need to talk about. N4C. It's going on right now, fellas. If you're watching this video on YouTube, it is highly likely that N4C is continuing on. So I want you guys, make sure you go check that out. I'm going to leave a link in the description. It's probably getting close to the final day right now, so I'd make sure that you get in there before it all finishes up. But we'll talk more about that a little bit later, because we're going to be focusing on Sock. We're going to see how he's doing, and a lot of villagers on gold, so going with 4 villagers on gold with the prelate out here as well. Going to be buffing up those villagers, going to be doing plenty of work out here, and still got a couple of villagers. Now, typically one of the things that I would like to see, villagers move to this side of the town center, because as you can see, a little bit less walking distance there with the prelate for Sock. But beautiful scouting coming out for Sock, I would say. Very methodical, almost. I don't even know if that's the right word. Very obsessive, very compulsive, very OCD. A lot of 90-degree angles getting thrown in here. You can see he's done a perfect loop around here, come back around from that angle, and just made his way up towards the north, coming around all the way down. He is definitely looking to uncover this entire map. He's going to have no problems doing it either. But we'll check out how Eerie's doing. Eerie going to be going up with the School of Cavalry. No surprises there. Putting it behind his base. Normally we see it go in the front, but that is okay. That is what we're used to. Sometimes people do things differently. No mule coming down for Eerie just yet. We have been seeing a lot of players go for this fast wheelbarrow opening as the French, so Eerie not going to be opting for that today. Instead, just going to be looking to play it a little bit slower. Not a lot of villagers on gold at this stage. Just keeping a trickle on there. Probably moving these villagers over after he is aged up. But we'll see how he plays it out over on the other side of the map. Eerie, or rather Eerie's opponent, Sock, going for a mine work palace. Now, this is something that we don't see very often. Typically, it's going to be the Archon Chapel, and he did actually get a pretty good Archon Chapel spot right here. Would have enabled him to pick up the gold mine, the wood line, and the town center. So not going to be able to pick that one up. But speaking of picking up, it looks like Sock going to be under attack. Eerie going to be just doing his best to annoy off Sock and try and prevent him from doing too much gathering on that gold. But Minework Palace is about halfway up now. We'll check in with the School of Cavalry. You can see that is well and truly on the way up. It's about 80% finished now, but plenty of resources in the bank. You can see he's added the 3rd villager out on gold as well. So I'm curious to see exactly how this opening is going to go, but it looks like he's just going to be rushing out a knight. Now let's talk about exactly how these players reach their victory conditions. So Eerie's victory condition, he's got a couple of different options. Number one is he can play H2. So if he looks to play H2, then what he's going to be looking to do is try and take out a fair few villagers and look to finish the game with probably a knight, archer, battering ram push. That is a very typical way for the French to win, the reason why they're able to do that is just because of how strong they are with their knights in on the gold mines. Number 2 is they can go for a bit of a boom, so they don't mind doing a little bit of a boom, the French guys, and do the outscale. The problem is, if you look to do that, if you go up against the Holy Roman Empire and you do not look to control the relics, that is going to be a difficult position for you. So going up against Insoc right now, he's playing the Holy Roman Empire, and it's important, it's imperative that you look to control those relics. So we do a quick stock take on the map. You see he's actually picked up 1, 2, 3, 4 relics, all very, very close here to him, Eerie. Whereas on the other side, Insoc only really spotting out 1 relic that's close to him. I mean, he's got 1 here, but this is just in the middle of the map. This one's a little bit further away as well. So yeah, unfortunately not the best spawns right there for Insoc when he is the one that needs that urgently. But we'll see how he plays it. Minework Palace up now. He's going to be looking to get some upgrades shortly, I suspect. Going to be going for a stable barracks opening, so going to be looking to do that double melee opening. Outpost going to be coming up on the back line as well, looking to prevent any of those initial knights coming in and doing too much damage. We see that knight moving out around for Eerie. I don't know whether he's going to be able to get that up in time. He's actually managed to put on 3 villagers onto that outpost, and now we see Insoc actually spotting out that knight, and he's going to be able, he should be able to get that one in the outpost. Ideally, he should be moving the scout out over to block for it, because if you watch him, he's going to be able, well, he manages to get it up in time. All right, we'll permit it. Good play there by Sock. Well done by Sock to get that up. Feels good to get that outpost up. But mine work well and truly underway now, so no technology is coming through yet from the mine work. Now, if I remember correctly, Beastie Cutie was the one that said never build the mine work as the Holy Roman Empire. It's just not worth it. It's just not good enough. So I'm curious to see exactly how that mine work is going to come out today for Insoc, or for Sock. He manages to hold on at these early stages of the game. He's got the double scout out towards the south of his base. Now going to be looking to get those upgrades in. So going for +1 defense, despite only scouting out the early archer, or the early stable, or early school of cavalry at this point, only seeing just a couple of cavalry units. He's still going to be going for that +1 defense nice and early. I'm curious to see what other infrastructure he's going to be adding. I suspect it's probably going to be a second stable, and probably even a second barracks as well, and really just commit to that full melee composition. It's absolutely beautiful to see. But we'll check in with Eerie. We'll see how he's doing, what kind of upgrades he's got. No upgrades from that mill. No upgrades on the mining camp. No upgrades on the lumber camp, except for the forestry upgrade, which has come through. Goes for the cheaper upgrade, it seems, and you can see him just behind enemy lines at the moment, just keeping an eye on the opponent, just seeing exactly what's going on, but not going to have a lot or too many issues back here. And now Insoc just managing to just sort of keep his enemy at distance, at bay. Yeah, doing a great job with that line of sight. Now we see the push beginning to come out on the map. Now, Eerie not even going to be able to spot that out. Actually going to get taken by surprise almost. The horsemen going to be able to get in on top of those archers. You can see them having a bit of a tough time, those archers, as they turn around trying to deal with the spears. The horsemen actually turned around and said, hey, we're going home. And Eerie said, oh, that's fine by me. You guys head off. And you can see that repeatedly those horsemen just deciding to turn around in this situation. I'm not sure what's exactly going on right there for Sock. But those spears now going to be overwhelmed completely by the number of Royal Knights. Beautiful micro coming out right there from Eerie. He's looking quite strong in this early game phase. And he's looking very, very potent. Now we face this difficult position right here where the Holy Roman Empire player is not going to have enough spears. Now, it's going to take a long time for him to build up on these spears, so I'm going to hope that we go back to his base and we see a second barracks getting dropped down. No second barracks. So, why is it that it's so hard? Now, I mean, this is what I want to talk to you guys about, all right? So, this is something that I often talk about when it comes to playing against French. 6 knights out on the field. Okay, so we're going to have Eerie here, who is building knight upon knight upon knight upon knight upon knight. So he's going to get up to, say, 10 knights, 11 knights by 11 minutes. Okay, we'll call it 11 knights at 11 minutes. Now we take a look back at his opponent, Sock, who sits on 3 spears at the moment. And even if he makes full-time spears, by the time we reach 11 minutes, he's actually going to have only 11 spears, because he'll have made 8 and he's got the 3. So you see what the issue is. The issue is that there's 11 spears for 11 knights, and knights are 3 times the cost of a spear. So that's where the issue really comes in. It's the fact that you're able to take these small little victories as the French edge out your opponent and then walk away and then come back into it much stronger than your opponent. Knights actually spotting out the Horseman. Horseman did turn around and look for a little bit of a pincer move, but did not find it. Wolf going to be getting in on the action as well. Eerie heading into the base of his opponent. Now, his opponent is going to know this. Sock is going to know that this is coming. Obviously, he spotted out the raid that was coming in. Up towards the north, it looks like another raid going to be coming in. One villager going to be going down. Second villager manages to stay alive. Looks like the prelate gets a little bit of healing off. Spears coming out. There's more than enough spears to be able to deal with that position. At the same time, a raid coming in on the south wood line. So Eerie just hitting multiple spots. Looks like a bit of a raid coming down on the hunt that was down here as well. So a little bit of an overextension when it comes to the villagers. Eerie making a bit of a mistake. Spear's going to be coming out. Looks like Eerie entering into that 1-1-1 build order. Nice and early, or rather, I'd say about in the mid part of the feudal age now. Normally you do see it come out quite early, but not this game it seems for Eerie. But he's getting chased away. I mean, these are just this is an example of spears that he can pick off very easily. Manages to spot, I think that was a scout that went down. Indeed it was. Scout losing its life, unfortunately. I think it's been chilling there for a long time, actually, now that I think about it. Another scout chilling out behind the base. Spears managed to push back. Outpost going to be going down here. Eerie lost villagers on that first run. He's not going to be losing any more villagers again. Nice little charges managing to get off. We'll do a stock take and take a look. 37 and 22 up against the 34 and 17. So 3 villager difference. A mild difference when it comes to the military population for these players. But Sock still got quite a way to go. And now we see that he's moving out onto the map. Going to be looking to take out these hunts and do a little bit of hunting out here. He's trying to get up to the next stage. You can see he's working his way up. He's got 29 villagers currently on food. 5 villagers, just a handful of villagers on that gold vein working towards that, but no villagers at the moment on wood. Adding in a farm as well. I mean, this is a lot of farms to be having at this point in the game. Going to be throwing down another stable. I don't know how I feel about that. I really like, as the Holy Roman Empire, playing into that infantry mass, looking to get those men-at-arms out, those Lansknechts out, getting out plenty of spears as well, really just mixing it in and getting a whole bunch of Springles behind it. It makes it so effective, so difficult to deal with as well for your enemy. And even, if your enemies start to make some crossbows, then you mix in some mangonels. It really becomes very hard for your enemy to deal with a composition like that. But we continue to see expansion coming up. A mining camp going to be going down on the stone outcropping. So we could see a second town center get added in here. You can see he's struggling a little bit with the resources. A bit of an excess at the moment with the gold. But Eerie behind this, looking incredibly strong. Going to be moving out to the second hunt that he's got out here. So having very good hunt spawns basically right on top of each other, it's going to enable very easy transitions and very easy defenses with these spears. But we'll have a look at how Sock is doing. He's going up to the 3rd age right now. Now, once again, we'll talk about those relics. We did mention it earlier that Sock's got one relic that's very easy for him to obtain. The other 2 are going to be a little bit harder, but you can see he's got units moving out towards the map. Actually going to be getting picked off in the middle here. The prelate tries. Unfortunately, very bad timing there. Not a lot of line of sight on that prelate or on the Royal Knights, but they do actually spot the prelate as it was going out. So really, really unfortunate play there, and Eerie managing to pick up that prelate as it comes out. So very well played there from him. Now that should tip off Eerie that his enemy is heading up to the 3rd age. Insoc about to click up now. We're about to get up. That Regnitz Cathedral going to be going down. And you can see he's probably going to be training up some more prelates. I really wouldn't be surprised. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. But now going to be looking to potentially... That's a big army. That is a big army. So he's got to be paying attention down here towards this south position. You can see he's actually got a prelate down here as well. He's got prelates all over the place, this guy. But unfortunately, a lot of villagers on wood because they don't really have any other options at the moment. They've had to evacuate. He's got to be careful trying to get these relics back to his base. But at the same time, I mean, Eerie's got a very, very large number of units here. I'm curious to see whether a blacksmith has gone down, whether we've got that siege engineering. Indeed, it's coming in right now, ladies and gentlemen. 40 seconds until this bad boy is online. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Eerie come in now for a bit of a death push, because this is really the French death push that we love, we know, we are familiar with. It is their win condition. This is how they play Age 2. They love to go for the 1-1-1 and really just keep the mix of units in here. Make sure you're using those knights to raid all the time. Beautiful patrols coming in on this north side of the base as well. Going to be stopping any prelates from coming out there. We've already taken out one. Definitely be happy to pick up a few more. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a scout or two move up in that direction as well, just to keep an eye on those relics. But now coming in, we'll take a look at Erie as he tries to come through. No battering ram coming out for him at this point in time. It looks like we might have a couple of knights coming out for his opponent as well. There it is indeed. Sock going to be bringing out his own knights at this point in time and trying to fight out. You can see them all entering into the town center, just firing off. But keep in mind, there's still a battering ram that is due to come out very shortly. I can feel it. Erie's looking for it. But Sock now going to be picking up his second relic. Was that his second or his first? I thought he just dropped the relic in. It might still be back here. There's the second one coming in now. He's going to be sending out that prelate and looking to get out onto the map. Erie actually going to be forced back here from the knights of his enemy that are a little bit stronger than his own because he's gone up into the third age. So now Erie really kind of behind when it comes to this game. If we do a quick stock take, I want to have a look at the scores. That's the military. There we go, player score. Erie is actually up by about 300 points, but now his enemy is going to be looking to put him in the corner. What I would love to see from Insock at this point is, apologies for that one, is a whole mass of spears and a single mangonel. A single mangonel is all he needs to hold this position, and just a whole bunch of spears. Spear's going to be able to siege down the battering ram. Mangonel going to be able to deal with the infantry, and Spear's going to be able to stop those royal knights from doing too much damage. So ideally, I would have loved to have seen, 4 or 5 barracks getting dropped down. And now we actually do see that. He's dropping down 7 barracks, so he's doing the right thing. My main fear now is that it's just going to have come too late. You can see that Insock is trying his best to defend on this position at the front. Ideally, he wants to just delay this attack as much as possible. That's going to be his primary thing. He needs to get spears out. He needs to get a good mass of spears out as well. Do we see a potential mangonel coming down here as well? Second battering ram coming in. It's not looking good for Sock. We do have that third relic coming back, though. That is one of the good things that he's got going for him. And you can see a knight going to be coming around the back there, looking to try and do some damage. Now that town center going to be under attack. He's got a lot of men-at-arms in here. Men-at-arms will actually be quite effective. He does have the +1 damage or +1 range armor. So that's going to enable him to have a little bit more, actually +2 armor coming in. So he's going to be able to do a lot of work against these archers. But now we'll enter into the cinematic mode as we begin to witness what may be the final fight, because there is a lot of units that are beginning to push down the town center of the Holy Roman Empire. And now begs the question, was it the right decision to go up to the third age? Should he look to have stayed a little bit longer? And plenty of men-at-arms now going to be coming out, heading towards this battle. We see the knights trying their best to tee off towards their opponents, and just a huge mass of men-at-arms getting absolutely rounded up here as the knights overwhelm them. Not a lot of spears in this mix, and those units definitely seem like they are getting outnumbered on a giant scale. Men-at-arms, unfortunately, not that strong against melee units compared to the same strength against those ranged units. You can see that they were barely getting scratched, those units, and Insock having a bit of a tough time now. We'll switch over to Erie's perspective, and you can see from his perspective there is just so many units being flooded into the base of his opponent. He's probably going to be looking to move on to the second landmark now. The first one has gone down. It was the town center. The all-important town center has gone down, and he should realize that there's 3 relics sitting inside that Regnitz, and then it is time to go for that Regnitz. But it looks like he's just going to be going after the infrastructure, and Erie is victorious. Sock taps out, says, you know what? I went up a little bit too early. I probably should have stabilized a bit. Probably should have rushed a mangonel or something. Good game. Well played. Fellas, make sure you check out N4C. It's going to be happening right now, probably the final day. So make sure you go say good day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.